ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Offer obeisances to we'll recite the
ओम
Charan prayer. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य
अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य
ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं
तस्मै
येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं
स्थापितं
स्थापितं येन भूतले
स्वयं रूपं
स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं
ददाति
ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं।
वन्देऽहं
वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः
श्रीयुतपदकमलं
श्रीयुतपदकमलं
श्रीगुरुं
श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं
साग्रजातं
सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च।
हे कृष्ण
हे कृष्ण
करुणा
करुणा सिंधो
दीनबन्धु
दीनबन्धो जगत्पते
गोपेश
गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी
राधे
राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी
प्रणमामि
प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च
कृपा
कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च
पतितानां
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले
श्रीमते
श्रीमते
भक्तिवेदान्त
भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते
नमस्ते
सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद।
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
श्री कृष्ण भगवान की जय, श्री
की जय।
भगवान की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण किरण प्रभु। हरे कृष्ण राजेश प्रभु।
हरे कृष्ण सर्वनो।
हरे कृष्ण करण प्रभु।
So,
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
screen. So we are continuing to study our 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and last week we recited text 27 where Krishna says that Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti uparatam aśnāmi prayatātmana. So if one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it when it is offered in pure consciousness. And then the continuation is today we are going to recite very beautiful verse again, another one. So let's recite the verse. Yat karoṣi yadaśnāsi
यत् करोषि यदश्नासि
yad juhoṣi dadāsi yat
यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्
yat tapasyasi kaunteya
यत् तपस्यसि कौन्तेय
तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम्
तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम्
यत् करोषि यदश्नासि
यत्करोषि यदश्नासि
यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्
यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्
यत् तपस्यसि कौन्तेय
यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय
तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम्
तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम्.
Chandrakant Prabhu, would you like to recite?
So, यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत् यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम्.
Madhu Prabhu, you want to recite?
यत्करोषि यदश्नासि
यत्करोषि यदश्नासि
यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्
यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्
यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय
यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय
तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम्.
तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम्.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So word for word meaning here is yat means whatever, karoṣi means you do, yat again means whatever, aśnāsi means you eat, yat means whatever, juhoṣi means you offer or you worship, dadāsi means you give away, yat means whatever, again yat means whatever, tapasyasi means austerity you perform or tapa you do, kaunteya is referring, Krishna is referring here to Arjuna, O son of Kuntī. Tat means that, kuruṣva means do, mat means unto me, so this is Krishna asking unto him, arpanam as an offering. So translation, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kuntī, as an offering to me. So very powerful verse actually, and this is what is meant by Krishna consciousness. When we say that Krishna consciousness, it is our consciousness should be developed in such a way that we do every activity, everything with our body, mind, speech for Krishna as an offering to Krishna. And that's what Krishna is asking us in this verse. So, and we'll refer to some other verses as we go, but this is what Krishna consciousness means. So, Rajesh Parve Prabhu, do you want to read the purport, please?
Thus, it is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget Krishna in any circumstances. Everyone has to work for maintenance of his body and soul together. And Krishna recommends herein that one should work for him. Everyone has to eat something to live. Therefore, he should accept the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Krishna. Any civilized man has to perform some religious ritualistic ceremonies. Therefore, Krishna recommends, do it for me. And this is called archana. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Krishna says, give it to me. And this means that all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Krishna conscious movement. Nowadays, people are very much inclined to the meditational process, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practices meditating on Krishna 24 hours a day by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra round his beads, He is surely the greatest meditator and the greatest yogi, as substantiated by 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you so much, Guru. So very small and simple, but at the same time very sublime purport here. So all we know that we have to work as long as we have this material body. We cannot stop working, as Krishna mentioned in the third chapter also, that to keep the body and soul together, we have to work. But we should not at the same time work so hard and just unnecessarily work hard to gain some material, get some material gain. So as long as we have this material body, because we have to work, then Krishna is saying here that yat karoṣi. So whatever you do, perform that activity for me. So how do we perform or how do we work for Krishna? So there are multiple ways we can directly work for Krishna, like the devotees who are engaged in Krishna conscious movement or running temple or cleaning temple or distributing books or writing, reading, reciting, so many direct activities for Krishna consciousness. So either we can engage in that kind of activities, or if we cannot do that, then indirectly, whatever we work, so we work, we go to offices, we run businesses, we do some other work. So all the work we get for getting some remuneration, for earning some livelihood and earning some money. So how can I offer that work to Krishna then? So whatever I earn, I can at least contribute some portion of it in Krishna consciousness activities or propagating Krishna consciousness movement or propagating this message of the Bhagavad Gita or the literature, Vedic literature, which is very, very important, and it is the essential part of human form of life. Because without this, a human form of life is useless. So, so that's how we can work for Krishna. So that's what Krishna is saying, that whatever you do, then every one of us, to maintain this body, we have to eat. No one of us, not even any living entity, can live without eating. But that eating can also be offered to Krishna. How do we do that? So Krishna said in the third chapter, right, what we should eat? We should eat only prasadam after offering bhoga to Krishna. So when whatever we cook, we should make sure that we cook it for Krishna's pleasure. We offer it to the deity and then accept it as prasadam. And then by doing that simple activity, we will be free from the sin of eating any food. It doesn't matter if it is vegetarian or sattvic, or it doesn't matter, because everything what we eat actually is said to be sinful. As in third chapter, 13th verse, Krishna says, यज्ञशिष्टस्य न सन्तो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषै भुञ्जते ते अघम पापा ये पचन्ति आत्मकारणात्. So bhunjate te agham papa, they are only eating sin. Ye pachanti atmakaranat, who cook only for their own sense gratification, only for sense pleasure. But people who offer, or the devotees who offer it to Krishna first and then accept it as prasadam, they are freed from all the sinful reactions. So that's what Krishna is again repeating here. Yad aśnāsi, whatever you eat, so that eating process can also be engaged in Krishna's service. And these are normal day-to-day activities. There is nothing great we have to perform. Just a small, simple change can free us from all the material entanglement. Then juhoṣi. So whatever worship we do or whatever we offer, so that is a natural tendency of human form of life, that we want to worship somebody, we want to worship something. So irrespective of whatever our position is, generally we worship somebody who is superior or powerful than us. It could be a superior person in this material world, or it could be superior devata so that we can get something in return, or it could be Lakshmi ji or Durga or Ganesha or Surya or even Krishna. So that is natural tendency of humanity. And that's why we see in the world, there are so many religions and then they crop up. Because without the tendency of worship, a human being is called as Dvipada Pashu. That's the word in Sanskrit used for them. They are nothing but animal. And they are just two-legged animals, because that is what differentiates a human being from the animal. As it is said that there are 4 principles all the living entities need as long as they have material body. What is that? Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithunam cha. Samanyameta pashubhirnaranam. So ahara, everybody, the living entities, all living entities, including human, birds, animals, everybody, they need to eat. Nidra, they all get tired and eventually, periodically, they need rest. There are differences in how much rest each different animals can need, but they all need rest. Nidra, they all need to sleep and recuperate their body so that they get energy. Bhaya, they are all fearful of something. They are always afraid in anxiety, all the living entities. And Maithunam, they all have the facility for procreation. So they all engage in sex life. They enjoy Maithunam, as well as that is the means that how they procreate. So these 4 are needs of all the living entities, irrespective they are in human form of body or they are birds or animals or other forms of life. But there is difference between human and the other living entities. What is that? Dharmo hi tesham eko vishesho dharmena hina pashubhi samana. So dharma, and dharma is a very, very deep term actually. Even though loosely it is translated in English as religion, but there is no real translation for the word dharma in English. So dharma means following our original duty to serve God, or that is our real occupation, that is our real natural tendency. And if we do not have that, the dharmo hi tesham eko vishesho. So that is the only one quality that differentiates human being from the animals and other living entities. Dharmena hina pashubhi samana. And if a human form of body, if he is not performing any dharma or he is not engaged in any kind of religious activities, then he is considered as same as Pashubhi Samana. There is no difference between him and an animal life. So he is just living and going through the 6 transformations that are given. So every living entity goes through 6 transformations. That is, he takes birth, janma, then he grows, then at certain point he procreates other living entities or byproducts, and then he stays for some time, then he starts dwindling with old age. Everything, even the trees and all they start, the body, material body starts decaying, and eventually they die. So these are the 6 shadavikara, 6 transformations every living entity is going. So if even the human form of life, we are going through this, yes, for sure. But if we are not utilizing it, then we are nothing but 2-legged animals. So that's why worshipping. So that worship, Krishna says that tendency of worship, you should offer it to me, juhoṣi. So even that you can offer it to me. And then yet dadāsi. So again, all human beings, they have a tendency to give some charity, even though the most conjuice person, most frugal person, he will also at certain point of view, even small thing, he will have a tendency to give away in charity. But that charity, if not done properly, creates a karma bandhan for us. And then eventually we will read in the following chapters of Bhagavad Gita how charity can also be in tamogun, rajogun, and satogun. And what are the results acquired by those type of charities. But there is something even beyond all these three modes of material nature. There is something called transcendental charity, and that is when we do charity for Krishna's purpose. So there are different charities given actually there, and it is said that there are dravyadan, annadan, and all that. And among those, vidyadan, giving Krishna's knowledge to everyone, is considered as topmost charity. And that's what Krishna also confirms in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that the person who is giving this information to others is very, very dear to me. That's what Krishna says in the 18th chapter. The instructions, what he is giving to all of us through the medium of Arjuna. Arjuna is just a nimitta, so that he is telling this to Arjuna. But the purpose of the whole Bhagavad Gita is to give this instruction to us, all the living entities who are suffering in this material world. And because they are covered, they are illusioned by the Maya or the external potency of Krishna, we don't even realize that we are suffering. That's the worst part of it. We accept everything we take everything for granted. We think, oh, everybody gets sick, so I also get sick, and everybody gets old. We just accept that. We don't inquire why I am born, why I am suffering, why do I have to get old, why do I have to die, why there is so much suffering, why every living entity is suffering, why do I have to go through this suffering. I don't inquire because I take everything for granted. That's the illusory potency of Krishna. That's what is called Maya. And unless we ask these smart questions, our human form of life is not used properly. We have the independence, freedom to ask these questions. Otherwise, we are all dependent on the material nature for everything. So, dadāsi, whatever we are doing, giving away, Krishna says that offer it to me. And how do we do that? We can offer whatever abilities, whatever we have, we can use it for Krishna's service. Whatever earning we can have, we can offer it to Krishna's service. And one of the acharyas, Srila Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, when they were actually working for Nawab Hussain Shah in Calcutta, who was the Nawab at that time in Calcutta. And they were rejected by Brahmanas because they were working for a Muslim Nawab, and they were actually, their names were also changed, Dabir Khas and Shakar Malik. But they were actually coming from very nice Brahmana families, but because they accepted service of a Mleccha, they were rejected by Brahman community. But when they came in contact with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Krishna in the form of devotee, they gave up everything and they surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then they came eventually to Vrindavan. They lived there, and they wrote volumes of books that can help us. So they set an example, Sanatana Goswami particularly set an example how much charity we should give. So he had a boat full of gold coins, and that was a lot of money that time. So what did he do? 50% he straight away gave for Krishna consciousness. 25% he gave to the relatives for their maintenance, and 25% he kept for himself. So that Prabhupada always gives this an example, so that we can learn from the acharyas. There are many devotees who give up everything, but at least we have to define certain contribution from us, certain percentage or certain amount that we can donate for propagating Krishna consciousness, because that actually is the money that is going to help us, not the money or wealth that we use for our sense gratification or building wealth here is going to help, because that is going to stay here when we leave this material body. What is going to go with us is all the service what we did for Krishna. That is never taken away. That is our spiritual asset. everything else actually is a liability in this material world. We are creating more and more liability, entangling ourselves in this material world so that we come back again and again and again in this material world. So that's why charity is very important, but what type of charity, that is also very important. And that's what Krishna is saying here, dadāsi yat. And then tapa, yat tapasyasi. So every one of us every day is performing some kind of tapa. Tapa is nothing but accepting some inconvenience for higher purpose. So if we accept some inconvenience, and that inconvenience should not be whimsically accepted, it has to come in the line of Shastra, the way it is given. That's why learning from Shastra is very, very, very important. Krishna says in the 16th chapter, after he explains the divine and the demonic qualities, Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga, he elaborately describes what are the demoniac qualities, what are the asuri qualities, and what are the daivi qualities. But towards the end, he says in the 23rd verse that ya shastra vidimusrujya vartate kamakaratah na sa siddhim avapnoti na sukham na paramgati. Ya shastra vidim usrujya, one who rejects usrujya, one who does not accept the shastra vidhi, the rules and regulations that are given in Shastra like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or all the Vedic literature. And there are so many of them. So one who rejects or does not accept the Shastra or the rules and regulations given in Shastra and vartate kamakarata, and works according to his own whims. Oh, somebody told me to do like this, so I will do this. I don't know if there is any scriptural background for that or not. Or I like this. And the worst part is, unfortunately, these days, there are so many political and so-called social and humanitarian agendas going on that are completely against Shastra.
Yes.
So many. And they are covering knowledge. They are misleading the whole humanity in wrong direction. They are taking them into hell. So just like some political person promoted some Daridra Narayan Seva. Actually, that word itself is such an abominable word that calling that word is insult of God. If I call somebody a very respectable person who is well-to-do, let's take an example of a rich person in India, Ambani. If somebody calls him Bhikari Ambani or Daridra Ambani, is that very respectful calling him Bhikari or Daridra? And that we are referring to Narayan, whose wife is Lakshmi, and in the Brahma Samhita, Brahmaji prays that there are hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis serving you. He's owner of everything. And that person we are referring as Daridra Narayan is the biggest blunder if somebody has concocted that word. And even if somebody says Daridra Narayan, that, oh, Lord lives in the heart of Daridra, so we should worship him. Why that bias? He lives in everybody's heart. He doesn't care he is Amir or Garib or animal or fish or trees or anything. So there is no such thing as Paramatma lives only in Garib's heart or only in poor's heart. He lives at same time in the most richest person's heart as well as every living entity, animal's heart. But we don't accept that. We run slaughterhouses. We kill so many innocent animals. Narayan lives in them also. Why not then? So this is all unnecessarily political agenda that everybody is running here. They have their own agenda. Bhagwan ko doodh mat chadao, garibo ko pilao. This is all, yeah. So abominable things going on in the name of humanity these days. This is all against Shastra. So we have to learn Shastra, what is really good, and it is all given in black and white, and it makes perfect sense logically also. We don't have to need to be a very intelligent person for this. Or actually, the person who understands this is, according to Vedic literature, is considered as the most intelligent person. Not
Yes.
somebody who has PhD or MA or somebody degree and doing all the blunders in the society. No, the real learned person is who accepts instructions of Bhagavad Gita as it is, and everything 100%. Not, oh, I like this portion, so I will accept this, but that other portion I don't like this, or so I won't accept that. No, that is called Ardha Kukkuta Jnana or Ardha Kukkuta Niti. Ardha Kukkuta Niti means, Kukkuta means hen. So a person, he accepts only the back part of hen because that gives me egg, but I don't want the first part of hen because I have to feed it. I don't want to feed, but I don't want egg. I want all mal. So I'll cut the hen front part, so I don't need that. So that's what is in the Niti Shastra, it is called Ardha Kukkuta Jnana. No, we have to accept it 100%. In some cases, it may not be very palatable, but we still have to accept it because that is for our benefit. So that yat tapasyasi. So any austerity we are performing, Krishna is saying, tat kuruṣva mad-arpaṇam. Do it as an offering to me. And that way you'll be freed from everything. That we will read that next week, or I don't know if we have time. But in the next verse, he says that Shubha Shubha Falaireva Moksha Se Karma Bandhani. He's not asking though, oh, give me. So somebody may say, oh, Krishna is asking everything. Is he beggar? He is the owner of everything. Isha Vasyamidam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat. Ishopanishad, very first mantra he says, it is said. So he is the owner of everything. We actually are the tenant. We are temporary in this world. When I was born, everything was here as it is. And when I leave this body, everything will remain as it is in this material world. I did not bring anything. I am not going to take anything with me. Irrespective, I am Bill Gates or Elon Musk or president of any big country. It doesn't matter. Everything remains here. And actually, this is in the 12th canto, this is very nicely explained that there are so many kings came and so many kings left this planet. And every Bhumi Gita, Bhumi Devi, when she is offering prayers, she says that there are so many people came and they tried to rule over me and everybody is gone. I am here. Everybody had to live without me. So nothing remains. So everything remains here. Nothing we can take. And we don't create anything. Everything we are given, everybody has a specific quota that he comes with. He gets that quota and then he leaves. And beyond that, even if we have a tendency to get more, that is considered as encroaching on others' property. And that is considered as very abominable. So we have to accept what is our quota and work accordingly. And tapa, we were talking about tapa. So inconvenience, why do we have to take inconvenience? For higher goal. So higher goal, even everybody goes to gym, right? Workout. Is it very palatable? No. But we go run, everybody's suffering. We see everybody's suffering, running hard, sweating and then lifting weights and going through all the pain, no gain. Why? Because we want healthy life, because something higher we want. Or even nutritious food, what we eat. We like all the palatable food, we like all the sweets, but no, we kind of reduce it. We moderately take it. That is also kind of tapa. Why? Because I need healthy. That will help me getting a better future. In the same manner, for spiritual gain, there are rules and regulations given in the scriptures that if you do this austerity, you will be elevated. And the highest tapa, what we can do is do tapa for Krishna. And then for Kali Yuga, the form of yajna that is recommended is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In Kali Santarana Upanishad, it is recommended Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Iti Shodashakam Namnam Kali Kalmashanashanam. And Brahmaji says, Nata Parataropaya Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. Narad Muni asked this question to Brahmaji, and Brahmaji is replying to this, that this 16-syllable mantra is the best remedy to get out of these miseries of Kali Yuga. Na ata parataropaya. There is no better remedy than this. Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. Even if you study all the Vedic literature, you will not find anything better than that for the mitigating the kalmasha or the miseries of Kali Yuga. So when Brahmaji is saying this, and this is repeated in many other places in Brihanaradiya Purana, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quotes this verse: Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama eva kevalam, kalau nasteva 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 gatirennata. That other than taking Hari's name, there is no other way you can get free from the Kali Yuga. And it says 3 times, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama. And na astiyeva, na astiyeva, na astiyeva. And in Vedic literature, when somebody said 3 times, it has trivara satya. It has given very, very, very emphasis on that. So the process in Kali Yuga is very, very simple. Just offenselessly chant this mantra, Hare Krishna, and then we'll be freed. And that simple tapa, if we do, and then follow certain regulations, and these are all, it is said in the Shastra that there are 4 root causes of all the sinful activities. Shriya, Shuna, Panam, Dyutam. So stay away from those. Shriya is illicit connection with outside marriage. Why do we want to get into there? Shunam, Panam, Dyutam, or eating any abominable food like meat, eggs, fish. Only eat prasadam. And prasadam, Krishna said, what can you offer me? He said in the previous verse, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhakteya Prayachati. So that type of food we should offer it to Krishna and then partake it, eat it. No intoxication. We are already illusion. We cannot think properly because we are under control of Maya. On top of that, if I take some intoxication, I am degrading myself. My thinking ability is going further down. So why unnecessarily indulge in any kind of smoking, drinking, or any kind of habits, drugs, or even drinking tea or coffee is considered as creating hallucination. Even though it could be at a very less degree. So if possible, we should avoid all this. And Dyutam is any type of gambling. So because gambling increases our anxiety. And why do we engage in gambling? Because we want free money. And that never happens, because everybody who gets into gambling, even though for short term he may earn something, but eventually he loses everything. And these examples are given in our Vedic history. They are all historic events to teach us lesson. So we should learn from them and perform austerity and perform everything that Krishna says, give it to me. Do it as an offering to me. Krishnārapanamastu. That is what really is Krishna consciousness. So molding our life in such a way that we do everything in our capacity for satisfaction of Krishna. Samsiddhi Haritoshanam. Only for Hari's satisfaction. And this similar type of verse we actually recite many times after, particularly in Ganesh Chaturthi, Kayena Vacha Manasendra Deva, Buddhyatmanava Prakriti Sabhava. So what is the meaning of that? I didn't realize that meaning until I came to Krishna consciousness. So what does it say? Kaya means body. Vacha means my ability to speech. Manasa means my mind, ability to think. Indriya means my senses. Kayena vacha manasa indriya eva. Buddhi, my intelligence. Atmana, myself or my nature. Swabhava. Buddhyatmanava prakriti swabhava. Karoti yatyat, whatever I do with all these faculties that God has given me, everything is given by God. My body, my mind, my intelligence, my senses, my ability to speak, everything actually is given by God. How do I do it then? As arpan to Narayan. Narayanami samarpayami. I do that as an offering to Narayan. See, this is what we grew up with, saying the same thing. That's what he's saying here. Yat karoṣi, yat aśnāsi, yat juhoṣi, dadāsi, yat tapasyasi, kaunteya, tat kuruṣva mad-arpaṇam. Do it as an offering to me. So that's what it is. So very beautiful verse and very simple to apply in our life. But that's what the real meaning of Krishna consciousness is. That's what makes us Krishna conscious, that we are aware of Krishna and we are doing every activity as an offering to Krishna. Actually, one more verse I was thinking of. So Vedic literature, all the Vedic literature or dharma actually teaches us two things: do's and don'ts. What we are supposed to do, rules and regulations, or they are called vidhi and nisheda. So some things it says that you should do this or you must do this, and then there are certain type of activities that it says that you should not or you must not do this. But all of them, the purpose is what? So the purpose of all the rules and regulations is smartavyam satatam Vishnu visvartavyam na jatuchit sarva vidhi nishedastur etayor eva kinkara. So smartavyam satatam Vishnu, that one should always, always, always remember Krishna or Vishnu. It's the same thing. And visvartavyam na jatuchit, and never forget Krishna. Sarva vidhi nisheda etayor eva kinkara. All the vidhi and nishad given in all the Vedic literature are subservient. Kinkara means servant, or subservients of these principles. So vidhi means something that is to be done. That is rule, right? You must do this. So what you must do? Smartavyam satatam Vishnu. You must always remember Krishna or Vishnu. And what is nisheda? What is rejected? What you should never do? Vismartavyam na jatuch. Never forget Krishna or never forget Vishnu. So all the rules and regulations that are given in Vedic literature, the whole purpose is always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshet sarva vidishim nishedat suryaitayor vibhakara. The second line is same. But yena tena prakarena, somehow or other, we should always, always, always remember Krishna, never forget him. So I will stop there, Prabhujis. We'll take some reflections. Thank you very much for joining today.
So Prabhuji, no reflection from me. As explanation wise, it is simple to understand, though it is very strong, conveying the message. So understanding wise, no issue on this, neither any question also.
Thank you.
It's probably it's very easy to understand, but very difficult to practice. That way.
It's easy at the same time difficult to practice. It's easy because it is said that it is our natural tendency. That is actually our original dharma. When see our dharma, the soul, the natural tendency of soul is to serve Krishna. But because we are under illusion, we are considering ourselves as this body and we are in this maya. So we are concocting that and trying to enjoy through our senses. And that's why it is difficult. But the more and more we think on this, it makes more and more sense. And yes, it takes some time, but it comes naturally to us. And the key part for that is association. With whom we associate, that is very, very, very important. So as Kiran Prabhu, you said rightly, it's very simple, but at the same time, it is difficult. Thank you, Prabhuji. Anything you want to add more?
In one of the previous verses, actually, it is explained दान पण कसं करावं म्हणजे किंवा दान म्हणजे आपल्याला असं वाटतं की आपण समाजसेवा करतोय किंवा हे या गरीबाला मदत केली, याला केली, असं ते पण करू नये असं पण पूर्वीच्या जन्माचे दिलेलं आहे. सो हिअर ऑल्सो इट इज व्हेरी क्लिअरली सेड, यू सरेंडर इट टू कृष्णा, नॉट टू, इट इज नॉट सेड दॅट. आत्ताच्या आपण आजूबाजूला बघितलं की व्हॉट इज हॅपनिंग, लाईक इव्हन कंपन्यांना सुद्धा सीएसआर ऍक्टिव्हिटीज आहेत. सो इट इज ऑल बेसिकली वी ट्राय टू give it to someone basically who is in need, or we feel that he requires that, and that's why we do it for them. Not but I think at both the places in Bhagavad Gita it has very clearly come out that you should give it to Krishna, basically you tanna samarpan kara, not for these activities. So this is something which is what is happening around me. That's why I said it is very difficult to practice. People are following it, those who are for having more, but they are giving it for different causes together, not for this. So a little bit of confusion everywhere around me, and even including our mind also it is there.
Yeah, because nobody reads Shastra.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, that's the.
It doesn't matter for what cause you give. The biggest thing is it should be in the name of God, so you don't publicize it. I refuse a tax certificate every time I donate, including to ISKCON. If I'm doing it for the tax benefit, then I better not do it. What is tax on that 2,000 or 3,000 or 5,000? 50 rupees? If I can give away 5,000, why can't I give away 50? I always tell them, please don't send me a tax certificate. They ask me.
You should get
Sir,
it,
we will send
and
you.
you can donate that also on top of it. Don't
Exactly.
don't give it to anybody to go anything to government. Our government is the worst thing. Can give.
No, see,
They use it for all the wrong reasons.
Correct. No, but see, giving it to the government will happen anyway.
Yeah.
Because if you're not taking a tax certificate, you only get that benefit of whatever 50 rupees, which is nothing big.
Probably
But
while
it should never give us that feeling that I have to do it to get the tax benefit.
Yeah, that
I take that out of my mind.
Yeah. So the intention behind it should be pure. Correct.
In fact, in Sanatana, the temple used to be the biggest economic center, which is why in olden days, rich used to give. Kunala mahit nasaयचं. That used to feed everybody. So temples were places of performance. कोणाचा dance arangitram किंवा music arangitram, कुठलाही puja, and all kinds of annadhanam used to happen there. But today we have forgotten it. Or rather, it has become something of profit for the government again. But that is how it was. And also this kaya navacha manasendriya, every single varna in Sanatana Dharma had something called a janai. And that used to be between the ages of 5 to 9. Every Surya Upasana, at the end of it, you say kaya navacha. So we were actually meant to be taught very early on as a child this particular shloka, so that it gets institutionalized into your thinking all the time. But all that is not to be. Today, the whole world is something very, very different from what Sanatana Dharma was made for. Anyway, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu. Sorry, Kiran Prabhu, you wanted to add something more.
So I was just trying to say that we probably what is happening around and this giving. While giving, we should keep that तो भाव आपला तसा असला पाहिजे की वी आर समज जसं आपण कुठलंही कर्म किंवा आता आपण म्हणतो की प्रसादम म्हणजे आपण जे काय केलेलं आहे ते आपण पहिले कृष्णाला अर्पण करून मग आपण ग्रहण करायचंय त्याला. सेम वे इवन वाईल गिव्हिंग ऑल्सो इफ वी कीप दॅट ॲज अ कॉन्शियस दॅट वी आर डुईंग इट. कुठल्या हातात जात आहेत त्यापेक्षा आय एम गिव्हिंग इट टू कृष्णा फॉर द गुड टू द कृष्णा. थ्रू हिम इट इज रिचिंग. प्रॉब्ली असे भाव ठेवला तरी सुद्धा, कारण प्रॅक्टिकली आजच्या वर्ल्ड मध्ये ते टू प्रॅक्टिस दिस इज लिटिल डिफिकल्ट. पहिले तर द्यायचा भाव असला पाहिजे, ते ऑफकोर्स इट्स मस्ट, पण बियॉन्ड दॅट while giving, where we are giving, while giving we should keep that in mind that I am giving it for the to the Krishna. एवढं जरी करू शकलो तरी आय थिंक इट विल बी
True.
गुड फॉर अस.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Yes, any additional thoughts, Prabhu? Yes. Anything, Bapu Prabhu, Madhu Prabhu, Rajesh Parve Prabhu?
Actually, in many of the verses हे सांगितलेलंच आहे की you devote everything to me actually, other than the God. But sometimes in my mind comes some contradictory thought because Hindu Dharma or Sanatan Dharma, okay, we are 36 कोटी देव आपल्याकडे आहेत आणि आपण त्याला पूजतो किंवा पूर्वीपासून आलेले आहेत तेवढे देव आणि प्रत्येक ठिकाणी वेगवेगळे देव आहेत. तर इज इट लाईक कृष्णा इज टेलिंग की म्हणजे असं आहे का की वी शुड नॉट म्हणजे आपल्या हिंदू धर्माच्या सनातन धर्माच्या संकल्पनेच्या हे थोडस डिफरंट आहे असं वाटत नाही, वेगळं आहे किंवा अगेन्स्ट आहे असं नाही वाटत? ओके,
नाही, आता आपण 2-3
म्हणजे मला कायम माझ्या डोक्यात विचार असतो की ओके, यू एक्सप्लेन ऑल दिस.
No, so what we read a couple of weeks ago, ye pen devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita tepi mameva kaunteya yajante avidhipurvakam. That one who worships other devatas other than me, they ultimately actually worshipping me only because I am the one who creates them. But they are worshipping me indirectly or avidhipurvakam, in a wrong way. So, and then he says that, ek minute, Raj. So, and sorry, why we have to worship Krishna? Because he says that aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhuresha, and I am the actually Prabhu, Lord and enjoyer, bhokta of all the yajnas, whatever you perform, even if you perform for other devatas, but ultimate enjoyer and ultimate bhokta is I am. So even if you are doing that for other devata, you are doing that in incomplete knowledge. You are not knowing that I am the bhokta. अहम ही सर्व यज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु माम अभिजानन्ति तत्वेनातश्चवन्ति ते. And one who does not know me as bhokta of all the yajnas, they fall down again in this material pool. In the just few words, let me share that actually. Just couple of verses before we read that, 23rd and 24th verse. So if, and then the destination of also other devatas, also yanti devavrata devan pitrun yanti pitravrata bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhyajinopima. So the worshippers of other devatas go to their planets, and the worshippers of other living entities, pitras, go to pitras planets, bhuta worship, they become like bhuta, and then worshippers of me, they come to me. So this is from here. From 23 to 25 we read just now. So the destination of other worshipper, devata worship, is they can go to Swarga Loka, but Swarga Loka is also in the material world, material creation. They are not getting free from the material miseries. They are not getting free from the cycle of birth and death. They are not getting free from the 4 real problems, that is Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. And then Kshine Punne Marta Lokam Vishanti. That also we read earlier, that when their Punya becomes Kshina, when the pious karma balance is over, they come back again, and they start suffering and they have to earn again. So that's why other devatas, they are from the material creation. So they are just like us, but empowered personalities. Just like a prime minister of a country, he's also a citizen of country, right? But he has some more power. So if I worship him, he can grant me something extra that no other person can grant me. So in the same manner, the devatas are empowered by Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and they have special authority, but that they can give only by approval and sanction of Krishna. So by worshipping them, yes, I get some material benefit. That is true. But I don't get free from this material entanglement. That is the difference between Devata worship and Krishna worship. So Krishna says, why do you want to remain in this material entanglement? And that's why in the Bhagavatam, in the second canto, third chapter, 10th verse probably, it is said that akamo sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. That even if somebody does not have desire, akama, or somebody has all the kinds of material desires, who is sarva kama, or somebody may be above sarva kama and desires moksha kama, he desires liberation. What a person who is intelligent, udaradi, what he should do? Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Tivrena, with dridata purvak. Bhakti yogena, with loving devotional service. Yajeta purusham param, param purusha Krishna. So always worship Krishna. There is no loss in this worshiping Krishna. But other devatas, there is a loss, because it is everything what we gain by worshipping devatas is temporary. Even though the people are considered as pious, because at least they accept the authority of Veda and they follow the scriptural injunctions to fulfill their material desires. So they are still considered as pious, but they are still not getting free from the cycle of birth and death. So that's the difference between Krishna worship versus other Devata worship. Does that make sense, Rajesh Prabhu?
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense. ओके, आपण गणपतीची पण पूजा करतो. आता आम्ही अगदी डेव्होटेडली करतो गणपती. दुर्गेची पूजा असते, गणपतीची असते, महादेवाची असते. तर ते तर आहेच, म्हणजे एक बुद्धीची देवता आहे, एक शक्तीची देवता आहे. म्हणजे वेगवेगळं तर ते भगवद्गीत म्हणजे लॉर्ड सेज की हे सगळं, इफ यू worship me, then you don't have to worship different gods. And
Correct. Okay.
It's clear.
Yeah, so it is completely clear, and he has written this in black and white. Now, couple of things I want to clarify. We can worship other devatas with the understanding that they are Krishna's authorized servants. They are just like if company manager versus company owner. So I respect company manager. I don't disrespect him. Oh, I know the manager, so I should disrespect. That is completely against the principles of Vedic culture. So we respect and worship other devatas with the understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the way we worship, we don't ask them for any material benefit. Even if we have to ask by worshipping Ganesh or Lord Shiva or Mother Durga or Lakshmi ji, we ask so that we can get benediction, so that we can engage better way in Krishna's service. So all the gopis in the Vrindavan, they were performing very hard vrat for Katyayani. Katyayani is nothing but Krishna's material energy, or Durga Devi. So they were worshipping Durga Devi. But why they were worshipping? They were worshipping because they wanted husband like Krishna, or they wanted Krishna to be happy, that he should never get any, pain or anything, for his protection. So with that attitude, because then I have center as Krishna for my every activity. So that worship that they are doing for other devata is also keeping Krishna in the center. So that is also done as per today's verse as offering to Krishna, because they are doing everything for Krishna's service. It does not mean that Krishna says, oh, worship only me, so I should disrespect all the devatas. No, that's completely not true. Rather, I would respect those devatas better because they are better devotees of Krishna than I am. Because they are devotees of Krishna, that's why they got certain position. They were eligible for getting that higher position in the material world because they are better devotees of Krishna, even though they have some material benefit. So that's the one thing, so that we don't disrespect or say anything bad about any of the devatas. Forget about devatas. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadari. Even a person who is very abominable, we respect him also. So that's one thing. And who wrote Mahabharata? Now, Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata, right? Who wrote Mahabharata or all the Vedic literature? It was written by Vyasadeva.
Yes.
But Vyasadeva dictated it. He did not write it. He had a writer who was assigned. And who was that?
Correct.
Ganesha,
Ganapati.
Ganapati. Because he prayed, Vyasadeva prayed to Narad Muni that I need somebody who is very knowledgeable and who is very perfect in writing everything. And Narad Muni recommended Ganeshji. And Ganapati then is, as we earlier said, Ganapati is Devata of Buddhi. So Ganpati and Vyasadeva had a deal. Ganpati asked him that, oh, when you are composing, I will write, but you should not stop.
Correct.
And then Vyasadeva said, okay. But Vyasadeva also said that whatever I am telling you, you should write only with full understanding, not just write it. So they had that deal, and then whenever Vyasadeva wanted to take a pause, he will recite some difficult verse that Ganeshji had to slow down to understand. That's the story behind it. So why I'm coming to this is, if Krishna says here that matta parataram nanya, or he says that ye pinne devata bhakta yante shraddhanvita. So Ganpati would have asked this question, right? Oh, this is wrong. What Krishna is saying, I don't agree with this. But Ganpati wrote this with his complete understanding. Vyasadeva wrote it. Vyasadeva, all the devatas accept Vyasadeva as Krishna's incarnation, Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas. So everybody accepts this. Everybody accepts Bhagavatam. Everybody accepts, all the devatas accept Mahabharata. So
Yes.
if he's writing and he's not questioning, we are the one who are, because under illusion and we are construed with our thought process, we question this. There are so many friends. Why Krishna says oh, he is the only supreme? I worship another devata. Why should I don't do that? I said, okay, do that. There's nothing wrong, but don't blaspheme Krishna unnecessarily. It's not good for
This superiority thing should never come in.
Yeah, there is nothing, because this superiority is established in the Vedic literature. You and I don't have anything. We don't have any ability to even go against anything.
Exactly.
Everybody even the spiritual planet has accepted this. We are nobody. So I just wanted to bring that point. Yeah. But yeah, this gets quite a bit discussed several times.
No, but that challenge between Vedas and Ganapati has a lot for us to understand. Naikalla, that don't decide, question, understand. Don't do things that you don't understand just for making the world feel new. In fact, I used to tell, between me and Shailesh also in Etos, we used to discuss the same thing. I said, RFD kadat nahi karu na. I said, what you don't understand, don't touch. It should translate as a simple formula for us. Mala kalat nahi, mi hath lavnar. Because that is where you are prone to making all the big mistakes, and then you get yourself trapped into your own ego. This comes in the moment of defense. So one should never do things that one doesn't fully understand. This is what it has translated into me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, that is very good reflection. So I think it is, it is little too late. So
Yes.
let me stop recording.